私こそがスターですわ。すべては私のもの。あなたの心もね。
Hello, I'm Silveroxis, and the units coming this week to Octopath Traveler COTC include Dolcinaea, the superstar diva, except not really in combat. So what does Dolcinaea do? She is a dancer, and her main role is a fire and wind DPS. Her special abilities is that she has two styles similar to Elbrica, where she can freely swap between to do different effects. Dancer for extra hits and buffs, and Diva for higher damage output and self 100% potency up. Her preferred weapons are Brilliant Fans or Cosmic Fans to get damage cap up, as her lower hit counts means she needs all the damage cap she can get. Cosmic is great for the free buff extension passive built in. Preferred accessories would be damage cap first to help with her lower hit counts, and then magic attack. When in Diva, she self-caps passive damage and gets 20% passive magic attack, but can reach up to 50%, so more passive magic attack helps if you have no more damage cap to give her. For her passive skills, her first passive is during move selection, she can freely switch between either Dancer or Diva styles. Diva style gives herself 15% fire/wind damage up and self 100% potency up, the ability to crit with magic, and 100% SP cost increase. Her second passive is while she's in Dancer style, after she uses a fire or wind skill, perform a 2-hit AoE follow-up attack of the same element, that is 2 times 30 power. This is extremely weak, so you will not be able to use this as a way to DPS to get extra hits, unfortunately. Her TP passive, it gives herself 15% fire/wind damage up, and her passive magic attack up cap is increased to 50%. While in Dancer style, she gains 5% SP regen, and while in Diva style, she gains 20% passive magic attack up and 50,000 damage cap up. For her skills, her base kit, she has a 2-hit random target fire and wind that each do 15% resistance down for the respective element for 2 turns per hit. She has a 2-hit AoE fire that exploits wind, that while in Dancer style inflicts 15% physical attack and magic attack down for 2 turns, and while in Diva style inflicts combustion for 2 turns. A 2-hit AoE wind that exploits fire, that while in Dancer style inflicts 15% physical defense and magic defense down for 2 turns, and while in Diva style inflicts corrosion for 2 turns. She has a front row 15% physical attack, magic attack, and critical up for 2 to 5 turns buff, that while in Dancer style also grants herself 30% fire/wind damage up for 3 to 6 turns, or while in Diva style grants herself 1 to 4 magic attack dodge stacks. The 6-star skill evolution also grants Fervent Enthusiasm for 3 turns to the front row. This is a 5% passive physical attack, magic attack, and critical up. This is the exact same unique buff that Agnaea gives with all of her skills, and so this can also help if Agnaea's in the party to trigger her passives as well. So there is some direct unit synergy there. She has a 3-hit random target fire that at max boost becomes 5 hits instead of 3. This is her main nuke for fire, being 5 hits. She has the exact same 3-hit random target wind at max boost becoming 5 for wind, so that's her main nuke for wind, 5 hits. She has a 2-hit single target fire that in Dancer style grants herself 15% magic attack up for 2 turns, and in Diva style gives her guaranteed critical hits and 30,000 damage cap up for that skill. She has the exact same skill again, but for wind, that does the exact same changes in Dancer or Diva. So those are nuking moves, but they're only 2 hits, and the extra damage cap is not significant enough to make this worth using over the 5-hit random target skills. And then her TP skill is a 1-hit AoE wind that exploits fire, and has a high 75% chance to inflict enchant for 2 turns. For her EX skill and ultimate technique, her EX skill has 3 total uses. It's unlocked from turn 3 onward. It's a 3-hit fire that exploits wind. And the reason I say only 3 hit instead of what range it is because the range changes based on what style she's in. And Dancer Style, the range is AoE, and it also inflicts 15% magic defense, elemental and resistance down for 2 turns. And if she's in Diva Style, the range becomes single target, the potency increases, and she gains an additional 50,000 damage cap up for this skill. Again, that's decent, but overall still worse than just using her 5 hits for main nuking. Her ultimate technique is a support class ultimate, which means it costs 3 BP to full charge from ultimate level 10. It's called All For You. It grants all allies 10% magic attack, crit, and speed up for 2 turns, plus dancers gain 10% elemental damage up for 2 turns. This scales to 15% buffs in 3 turns duration at ultimate 10, and 20% buff potency at ultimate level 20. The 200% gauge activation bonus will allow rear guard activation. As for Ultimate 10/Ultimate EX priority, Awaken first. The ult is fine, but there's so many options to get these buffs, including elemental damage up without the Dancer restriction now, that you're better off going for her pretty decent A4. And as she's a DPS, she probably wants A1 anyway. Which, speaking of that, Awakenings plus A4 accessory. A1. Strong for any DPS for extra damage. A2. Can be helpful, but not wholly needed. A3. Dancers are squishy on HP, so this can help. And A4 accessory, the Elegant T-Set, 140 magic attack. Grants self 10% SP regen. And when equipped by a dancer, allows all their elemental attacks to exploit fan weakness. A4 tier rating, I would say, is an A tier A4. It's a really solid magic attack stat. The SP regen is whatever. The fan exploit for Dancer sounds really cool, but long term ends up being a niche ability. Magic always loses to physical currently, and this will only work for a single Dancer to use. Finally, EX Mulruso just exists sometime next year to grant the Rainbow Exploit all weakness buff, so this A4's best used long term is really its magic attack stat stick. For an optimal skill loadout, for skill 1, take her 2-hit fire/wind that debuffs resistance. Skill 2, the 5-hit fire or wind as your best damage option. Skill 3, the front row buff plus passion plus self-capping damage up. Skill 4, if you have A2, then you can take the 2-hit fire/wind with bonus damage cap if needed to hit if you don't have max BP for some reason when nuking on second turn of break. And needless to say, the reason it says fire/wind is you take the element that you need because you're probably not going to be taking into a fight needing both at once. If you do, then, mix it up as needed. For unit synergy, I would say Agnea. As a co-win DPS, these two ironically work very well together, despite being opposite each other in Agnea's story. Dolcinaea is able to give front row fervent enthusiasm for 3 turns to help Agnea's passives function. Mabel is great for a magic enabler pet buff stacker backpack for magic DPSs. Signa for universal res down and debuffs and her ult debuffs. Also, her light skills can exploit fire, so she can fight with Dolce in those fights. Black Maiden in the future. Super strong support for all classes that can allow all elemental weaknesses to be exploited with any skill. Magic based and a dancer. Renew EX, elemental damage up ult with damage cap that Dolce needs. Doesn't matter if the potency doesn't work, the damage cap still matters. Plus you're getting elemental damage up too to help you reach that cap. Oswald, for specifically doing fire damage, his follow-up attack is invaluable to get an extra hit. Mulruso EX in the future. All weakness exploit and ult damage cap up buffs and a dancer to benefit from Dolce ult as well. Shauna for regen and general survivability because any DPS definitely needs someone there to help keep them alive. Alright, so to pull or not to pull plus rating. Dolcinaea is a very potent and selfish DPS. She does have a single front row buff move and an all allies ult, but all her other things only buff herself or debuff enemies. She can hit damage cap rather easily, but having self-cap damage up passives, extended magic attack up cap, and self 100% potency, but her hit count caps at only 5 hits, which long term is really, really poor. She just has the Oswald issue of really strong potency and damage potential without the hit count to really show it off. So unless you are forced to be near pity after getting Tiziano, I wouldn't pull her banner. Remember that all pull advice is just advice. Please pull and play the game your way. Tier 4, free to play. Skip, you are probably pulling for Tiziano. She isn't worth it. Tier 3, low spin / passes. Skip, same reasons. Tier 2, Dolphin. Step 1 and 2 for SMT frags, but otherwise skip. Tier 1, Whale. A4, ult 10, Yadivas. Overall rating, DPS is in A tier. Support B. Healing not available. Tank not available. Overall tier B. Alright, well, that's my review for Dolcinaea. Please let me know if you're excited for this character before and if you are going to be pulling. And let me know how lucky you got below. For me, I'm just going to be, even though I am a unit collector, I'm going to just be doing step 1 and 2 for memory frags. And if I don't luck into her, then I'll wait and get her on either on a lucky spook in the future, or I'll get her from on a paid selector in order to guarantee it. I will not be using free rubies on her banner. But yeah, alright, please let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see from this channel. Otherwise, please like, follow, and subscribe for more COTC content to come. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. See ya.